Hudson County TV came to the ferry terminal in Weehawken for a press conference in support of banning tourist helicopters over the Hudson River. Many elected officials from all over Hudson County came together to support this bill that was put forward by Assembly Speaker Vincent Prieto and State Senator Prieto-Sacco.
This is something that is very important to us. It's for the quality of life of the residents. It's of safety and health concerns about the helicopters, the tourism helicopters that fly overhead. Restrictions were put in by New York City, and that has actually pushed into the New Jersey side a lot of those helicopters, and they actually hover over this side to take the beautiful view of New York City. So here today, I am going to be proposing legislation, wanted to announce it today, that legislation that would call on the Commissioner of DOT to prohibit helicopters from state-owned facilities.
Congressman Sears and I continue to push the FAA at the federal level to silence these nuisance choppers. But at the same time, the state has to recognize it too has a role to play. The Speaker's bill attempts to protect the people in the air and on the ground. Consider the number of tour helicopter accidents in just the past few years. In 2009, as the Speaker said, a small private plane hit a tour helicopter in midair, just off of Hoboken, killing 9, including 5 Italian tourists. In 2011, over Manhattan, an Australian tourist was killed. And in June of last year, a tour helicopter lost power and crashed into the river. There's simply too much helicopter traffic and not enough oversight. That has to change, and it has to change now.
The last 2 years, we have done, all our efforts have been focused with the federal government, and we haven't been able to succeed. So that's why I'm so happy that the state is getting involved.
It is more congested here, the airspace, than ever before. You are in one of the most highly congested airspaces literally in the world, with 3 major airports in the immediate area, increased tourism to this area, and of course us building higher buildings every single year. And so this legislation that's coming from Speaker Prieto and Senator Sacco is not only important legislation, but it's just smart, simple legislation.
We've tried the voluntary self-regulation. We've heard from the helicopter operators that keep saying, well, things will get better. And despite all the promises that have been made over the years, we still endure an endless parade of helicopters flying low over our homes and parks. Enough is enough. Absolutely, enough is enough. The fact is that the helicopter tourism industry is making a profit at the expense of the quality of life of hundreds of thousands of people who call this area their home.
This was an issue that we all thought that it was an FAA issue, it was at the federal level, and we thought it would be handled at that level. Once they could not come to an agreement, as you saw Senator Menendez speaking about countless meetings and get-togethers, and nothing came of it, this was like a last resort for us to be able to do something and curtail the tourism helicopters over this area that are basically a nuisance, and it's a quality of life issue, and it's a public safety issue. We are putting legislation that I'm going to be introducing next Monday that will ask the Commissioner of Transportation not to be able to issue licenses and prohibit tourism helicopters from landing or taking off from helipads governed by the state of New Jersey.
So I started off actually locally with Mayor Zimmer in Hoboken. 2 years ago in May, sat in her office, made a presentation, pitched to her like new business. And she's like, exactly, I get it, makes it, yes, we're having that problem, what can we do? And together we worked to put a plan of action together. Our following meeting was at the Congressman's office here in New Jersey as well. From that, we wound up at a meeting with State Senator Bob Menendez, and it just kept escalating from there. And what I'm really thrilled about is that our elected officials who we put into those positions to represent our interests have actually done just that.
In Weehawken, I'm Ashley Bruno for Hudson County TV, where we're committed to you.